Hello and welcome to From Garden to Plate. I am Alice Erickson, the creator of this channel on YouTube. I have 20 years experience of gardening. I've gone from pots to raised beds. So therefore, I have literally done every trick and tip out there. So what I teach you is proven to give you an amazing yield in the garden. My goal is to inspire you to become an absolutely amazing organic gardener. I also have big passion for cooking and utilizing fresh ingredients from the garden and preserved items from the bounty of the harvest into everyday delicious meals. If you pay attention to the small, simple steps in between that I will teach you for cooking, you could become a house chef as well. If that interests you, please like and subscribe. In today's episode, I will be going over how to prune herbs, and I will be showing you how to make stuffed mushrooms utilizing fresh thyme from the garden. Pruning herbs is important because if it all goes to the buds of the flower, it will take away from what we're going to consume, which is the leaves. So therefore, cutting back all of the flowers is important. I'm going to show you a close-up on how I do that. This is a purple basil. It is here to be a companion plant to help flavor the tomatoes and to be a deterrent to things that don't like the smell of it, such as rabbits and hornworms. So I'm going to go through and I cut the buds off. Pruning your herbs also gives you a bigger yield. It'll keep bushing out and getting bigger. Cutting the buds off makes grow new leaves and branches, so that way it has to create more future buds, because the whole point is to reproduce. So you'll actually get a better yield if you prune. This spicy basil has some decent buds on it, so therefore I'm going to cut it. And I will end up rounding off and making a nice bush. I'd like to take a lot of the buds that I cut off and use them to deter rabbits because they're very potent smelling. Rabbits don't like the smell of basil. It's too strong for them. To us it smells incredible, but to them they're like, ooh, stinky. So I collect it and I will put it on things that they like to eat, such as this parsley. I'll just sprinkle it right there, right on the ground, and they leave it alone. I wanted to give you a nice close-up view of everything that I'm using and why it's important. I have concentrated tomato paste, minced garlic, the fresh thyme. That is Italian sausage removed from the links. That's turkey. That is a combination of red pepper flake and peppercorn and Celtic salt. And these beauties are portobello mushrooms. I will be using a balsamic glaze to top everything out. I have preheated my nonstick pan. I am going to do a glazing of olive oil along the bottom. I'm going to start off with the onions. I'm going to let them sweat a little bit, spread them out. I'm going to let them go for a little bit, and then I will add a little bit of salt and a little bit of the red pepper flake and black peppercorn. The reason that is the salt will help open up the onion and it'll caramelize a little better, and the seasoning will also open up a little bit more and have more of an impact. So that is ideal and why you add that. Looks like we're starting to sweat pretty good. It's time to add the Celtic salt. I have prepared a little bit in a container here, small bowls, because I don't want to contaminate my actual main source. So I'm just going to sprinkle that in for what I think I need. Gonna go in and do the same thing for the red pepper flake. Open that right up. Onions taste different through different stages of cooking. If you caramelize it and just give a little of a brown on the edges, that is different than compared to a raw onion or just slightly sweated. My idea is to open up the seasoning and get a little bit of liquid out of the onion and really get a good coloring. I'm going to let that occur. That's usually about a good 5 minutes or so. The onions are where I want it, but I am going to remove them. The reason is I don't want the meat to go into them and take away the flavor I just created. So I am just going to put here back in my bowl, set aside. What's nice is the residual oil that's in here is going to flavor this sweet Italian sausage. Just going to break this apart and make a nice crumble with it. Spread it out a little bit so it starts cooking. Before I get too far, I am going to season with my red pepper flake and black peppercorn. Just a touch. Add some more Celtic salt. Celtic salt is one of the most healthiest for you because of the high mineral content, but it's also the most flavorful, so therefore you should throw it in your food. You deserve it. Let that go for a little while and get it to a crumble, and then I'm going to add in the thyme, and then I will add in the garlic. I was able to get the sausage to crumble a little bit, so this is the most ideal time to add the thyme because you want it to be warmed up as well. Throw her in. Let that cook a little bit, and then I will add the garlic. The whole idea is you want the thyme to have the availability to warm up a little bit, so therefore it releases what's in it. Just so you know, fresh herbs are more potent than dried herbs. I'll let that go for just a touch, and I'll add in my garlic. Garlic cooks very quickly, like 30 seconds. Just throw that in. I'm at the point where the turkey is cooked enough so the onions won't be overtaken. So I'm going to throw them back in. I'm going to have a lot of natural liquid form here from the turkey and everything else. In order to mop all that up, I am going to add the tomato paste. So I will let this cook for a little bit, let it get very liquidy, and I'll add in the tomato paste. I am adding in the tomato paste. If you didn't know, this adds an amazing richness to this. Mix it in together as best as you can, therefore it'll be well combined. Because this is still warming up the paste, I'm going to add in the last part of the seasoning and then I will be finished. The reason you wait till the end to season just a touch more is because it'll be a little bit stronger, a little more amped. Just a little bit of that salt. The red pepper and black peppercorn combo. A little bit of heat. Oh yeah. Mix that together, so therefore that seasoning is well balanced and combined. This is ready to go into the portabellas. The mushrooms have released a little bit of liquid, so they are nice and roasted. I had to do 13 minutes total. So now what I'm gonna do is the fun part, the cheese. I have aged Parmesan here that I'm going to freshly grate right away. Then I'm going to do a balsamic glaze on top. The balsamic is nice because you get a little bit of a tang and an interesting flavor to combine with everything else that's Italian here. So I'm going to try to make this as pretty as possible. So let it come into the container and then I'm just going to drizzle. Stuff's a little thick. There we go. Now it kind of looks like a restaurant. I'll let these cool and I'll do a taste test. Taste test time. The tomato makes it so rich. The balsamic complements it so well. The cheese, the thyme really comes through, and just a very touch at the end, you taste that red pepper flake. So it all balances beautifully. May yours come out just as good. Thank you very much for watching today. Hope to see you soon.